Doctors find a ladybug living inside a man's colon. And the Canadian police are warning against fake hay fraudsters. And a man was arrested after police find a stolen horse inside a bedroom. These are the weird stories for Monday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian. Doctors find a ladybug living inside a man's colon. Yuck. Doctors performing a colonoscopy on a 59-year-old man were shocked to discover a small ladybug still alive, crawling inside the man's intestine. The article says, "I'm no doctor, but I imagine that one of the last things you'd expect to find in someone's colon while performing a colonoscopy is a living ladybug." How did the insect get inside the man's intestine? How? I want to know because I don't want bugs in my intestine. I'm trying to sleep with my mouth closed. I imagine it entered while sleeping. How many bugs crawl in your mouth while you're sleeping? I don't want to think about it. I heard like 6 or 7 spiders a year just crawl in there. Never mind the other bugs out there, which there are a lot of bugs out there. It says how the ladybug got into the man's gut in the first place remains a huge mystery, but the doctors do suspect it may have entered his mouth while he was sleeping. As to how it managed to survive his digestive system intact, they believe that it may have something to do with his preparation for the colonoscopy. In order for the procedure to reveal as much information as possible, the colon must be as empty and clean as possible, which involves refraining from eating and purging. The patient was given a cocktail containing polyethylene glycol, an osmotic laxative used to treat constipation, which doctors believed may have sped up the ladybug's journey through the man's digestive system, seeing it safely all the way into the colon. The preparatory chemical may have helped the bug to escape from the digestive enzymes in the stomach and upper small intestine. And there's a photo of the ladybug crawling around. Oh my goodness. I didn't expect this. Wow, this is disgusting. I don't know if I've ever seen an up-close photo of someone's colon before. It's not what I expected. And there's just ladybug. I see it. And the ladybug looks huge. That's how small the colon must be. Looks like a giant bug. Wow, this is shocking. Do not Google this, guys. Do not. The ladybug in question is identified as Harmonia axaridis, which was introduced to North America as a means of pest control back in the early 1900s. Oh, I had no idea that ladybugs were introduced as pest control beasts. Beasts. Ladybugs kill bugs? Is that what they're doing? Let me Google this. Well, guys, I'm learning. It's the sound of science. Ladybugs, or ladybird beetles, are one of the most common beneficial insects used in garden and farms. They are a natural predator of certain pests, such as aphids and thrips, T-H-R-I-P-S. So if you have a garden or a farm yourself, I guess you can use and release ladybugs. Can you buy like a batch of ladybugs and just send them on their way? Oh, yes, I found a website that says they have a large selection of beneficial insects, including live ladybugs. You can order 1/2 pint, which is 4,500 ladybugs. It treats an average-sized garden, and they'll ship it to you. I had no idea you could just have a box of ladybugs shipped to you. This is fascinating. Doesn't belong in a man's colon, nonetheless. It's concerning. Well, maybe he's got aphids in his colon. The ladybug's just getting in there and trying to help out his intestinal garden. Now, as you can imagine, this isn't the first time that a live insect was discovered in someone's intestine or colon during a colonoscopy. As you can imagine, the amount of bugs that crawl into our mouth when we're sleeping. Sleep tight, guys. Have a good night's sleep, okay? Are you listening to this right before bedtime? Sorry. Well, apparently there's been several cases where cockroaches were discovered during colonoscopies. Live cockroaches in your colon. No, that's the worst bug to find inside you, in my opinion. Can you think of a worse bug? Call the show, 646-450-2012. Canadian police are warning that there are fraudsters out there and they're faking hay. Livestock producers in Saskatchewan facing very hot, dry conditions this growing season and a feed shortage have another problem to contend with: hay fraud. You guys know hay fraud. Woo, boy. Huge crime, man. There's hay fraud all over the place. Grass fraud, shrubbery fraud, poison ivy fraud. Hay fraud. Who's ever heard of hay fraud? Let's find out a little more about this. Of course, this is occurring in Canada. Hay purchasing fraud is what it's called. Hay purchasing fraud is on the rise this year. Don't you hate hay purchasing fraud? You guys, when you go to the store to buy hay and you get it home and it's just a bundle of straws, drinking straws. All right, bad joke. I apologize. Let's move on. The hay fraud is on the rise, and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, they're warning producers to be vigilant. Producers of livestock, please be careful. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police is actually aware of several livestock producers who have been affected by the fake hay scam. And you don't want the RCMP on your ass, all right? They'll come at you with all those horses. How are you going to get away when they're... Here we come. I just did this last week. The RCMP coming to get you. In the scam, the hay scam, this is how it works, okay? Fraudsters place ads for hay for sale on social media and other platforms, and they insist on immediate payment before the buyer can see the hay. Now, you pay me and then you see my hay. Some of the livestock producers who have sent money later learned that the seller had no hay to begin with. Oh, unbelievable. Imagine that. You're buying hay. You send them some money, then you're like, no hay. You're not getting nothing. You're getting no hay. Of course, in Canada, this is going to work because you guys are too trusting. Everybody in Canada leaves their house door open. Your front door is just wide open, unlocked. Wow. And then you're wondering why you get a hay scam? How many Nigerian princes have fleeced Canadians? I'd love to know. So many. I don't know. Nigerians can just the Nigerian prince scam just coming to Canada. It's going to be like a 25% success rate. I don't know, eh? He said he was in trouble. He said he was a prince, eh? It seemed legit. Said he was going to send me my money back and more. Eh? Yeah, you got scammed by a Nigerian prince, eh? And now you're getting scammed by hay, eh? The RCMP, those people on the horses, they're asking anyone who has been the victim of a hay scam to get in touch with their local RCMP or police detachment. I don't know what you're going to do on horseback, but okay. There's a guy in the story here named Garth Woods. Garth is the operation manager of some sort of livestock company in Saskatchewan. Garth says the high demand for hay this year is just fueling the scam. Everybody needs hay. This is what Garth's quote is. There's a much higher percentage of producers over a wide area that are in need of at least some feed purchases, which is not the norm, eh? This gives rise to a lot more transactions involving hay. A lot of people aren't necessarily regularly in the hay market, and now they are, and we're getting scammed and fraudulent, eh? The opportunity is there. Anytime there's a large demand for hay at a good price, it brings out sellers are less than scrupulous, eh? What do you guys think of this Canadian accent? Is this okay, eh? Now, this guy Garth says there's simple precautions that livestock producers can take to avoid getting scammed. This is what he says. Make sure the hay product exists and that the hay belongs to the person that's selling it. Make sure the hay is there before you purchase it, eh? Make sure the hay is hay. I'm talking about hay, eh? Hay scams. Wow. I want your problems, Canada. I do. I want your problems. You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. A young man has been arrested after a stolen horse was found inside a bedroom. Police in South Carolina arrested and charged a man after deputies found a stolen horse inside a bedroom earlier this week. The suspect is Gary. You guys know Gary. Gary's charged with larceny of livestock. Larceny of livestock. I've never heard of this crime before, and I've been doing a weird news podcast for a long time. Ordinarily, I wouldn't consider a horse livestock, would you? If you can ride it, is it livestock? No. I consider chickens and goats and sheep livestock. But apparently a horse is also considered livestock. According to the sheriff's office, a female neighbor saw Gary riding a horse down the road at 2:33 p.m. earlier this week. Now, maybe in South Carolina, this is totally normal to see somebody riding a horse down the middle of the street at 2:33 p.m. But then something strange happened. Gary got off the horse and led it inside the home. That's a little odd. How do you get the horse through the front door? I'd love to know. Up the stairs through the front door. How? So the deputies arrived on the scene. They made contact with Gary's father, who said Gary was not supposed to be there. Well, I don't even think Gary lives at this house. This sounds like it's Gary's father's home. He wasn't supposed to be there. Gary's father's extremely surprised to hear that Gary's there. He's going to be even more surprised to find a horse in the bedroom. Oh, poor Gary's father. It took him so much effort to get Gary out of the house, and now he returns with livestock. So the father arrives at the front door. Gary opens it, at which point the deputies see that there's horse feces in the living room. Oh, no. Poor Gary's father. He can't believe Gary's there. He's like, look at this kid. He's going to be using my Ninja to make smoothies. I hate it. The sound of him making smoothies in my kitchen with those blueberries I got at Trader Joe's. Ugh. And now there's horse feces on the rug I just got from IKEA. I'm just trying to live a life here. Gary, you're messing up my lifestyle with your arrival with livestock. There's livestock feces in my living room. It's bad enough you have BO. Now you got horse BO in the place as well. So Gary tried to run away from the deputies. It didn't work. He entered the bedroom. They tried to take him into custody. I imagine he was going to the bedroom to get on the horse and flee. He was going to flee the scene on horseback. Just jump through the window. How do you get a horse out of the bedroom swiftly to get away from the cops? That's what I would like to know. You just kick the wall down. You just jump out the chimney. I just love to imagine him jumping on the horse in the bedroom. Just, out the window he goes. So the deputies entered the bedroom following Gary as he tried to escape. That's when they discovered, big surprise, a full-size quarter horse was standing in the middle of the bedroom. I'm sure looking very confused, because all morning the horse was in a barn or in a field or in some sort of, paddock area, like perhaps a yard. I don't know the situation. It definitely probably wasn't a small bedroom within an apartment. Now the horse is inside an apartment. Like, what am I doing here? Where's all the hay? It's up in Canada, but it's fake. Okay. Deputies say the horse appeared to be calm. Oh, thumbs up. The horse was fine. Perhaps the horse was drugged. You don't know what Gary's capable of. Gary is a degenerate. Deputies say the horse just seemed to be fine about the situation. Gary ran out of the bedroom into the bathroom. That's where they placed Gary under arrest. The horse's owner arrived on the scene. Oh boy, I'm sure was very surprised to find the horse inside a bedroom. The horse owner was very pissed off to see a laceration on the legs of the horse, an injury that the animal allegedly sustained after it had been stolen by Gary. Well, that's what's going to happen when you try and squeeze a horse into a small domicile. You're going to get lacerations on the legs. Gary's facing charges of burglary, petty larceny, malicious injury to animals. Oh, no. How dare you injure a horse? Gary remained in custody in the detention center, in case you're wondering. It doesn't say exactly what Gary's plan was with the horse. Could have been to sell the horse for drug money. I don't know. Could have been just to ride off in the sunset. Maybe he's a romantic. Hello, my listeners and loyal fans of the show. Thanks once again for listening to Weird AF News. I appreciate your time, and I hope you had a nice weekend. Thanks for sending me stories over the weekend. I got a lot of them. You can send me stories to funnyjones@gmail.com or do so through my website, weirdafnews.com. If you guys would like to support the show by joining the Patreon, that's a pretty cool thing to do because you get extra Weird AF content, as I've said many times before. And I'll be posting some things in the Patreon today that are very juicy. You'll love it. Check out patreon.com/weirdafnews. Make sure you subscribe to the show and tell a friend. And I left the phone number in one of the stories, but in case you forgot it, it's 646-450-2012. Feel free. Please feel free just to pick up the phone and call, leave Jonesy a message. Just say hi. We're all friends here. Just reach out. Say what's up. And I guess that's it. We'll see you tomorrow, as always.